so much uproar as per the as regards the Kama law, which is simply a law that the federal government of Nigeria recently Buhari signed. A lot of clerics, pastors, bishops have reacted. We've not heard from Muslims. We've not heard from the imams. The people that are speaking are the Pentecostal Association, and recently Khan also spoke, Christian Association of Nigeria. Now, in reaction to this, Prophet Joshua Iginla is the General Overseer of Champions Royal Assembly, has reacted to the Companies and Allied Matters Act (CAMA) signing into law by the President of Nigeria, Muhammadu Buhari. The 1990 own is extant, they've thrown it away, and now they are dealing with the 2020, and they've put in certain clauses into it. In fact, you cannot even take the case to the court. Whatever they decide, the minister and whoever has been appointed for this, whatever they decide on the board of trustees of any church, whatever they decide, that's it. And whenever they realize that probably there are some new laws or some other adjustment that will be put in, I think they claim that they are trying to do all this to manage corruption, since people bring money to church and churches can own properties. Churches have become big. You cannot compare church to mosque in any way. Many of the Pentecostal churches they've become a country for themselves. Their GOs they are authorities themselves. Now you would have said, okay, if the country government is the kind of government like every other one that gives loans or money, help, shows hand of help down to them. Of course they do that. Don't think they don't do, but they do it just in a political way, where you see a politician visit a particular GO. Don't think they come there for fun. They drop big checks, and big Ghana must go. They drop dollars. But we are talking about the right way, where churches can ask for help from the government. That's not what it is. You can't. So simply put, the government is not adding any value to the church. But now they themselves are not accountable, but yet they want to bring out laws to kind of manage churches, and that's where reactions have come in there. Now, like I said, different clerics have raised their voices here and there under this law, on this issue of this law, that religious bodies and charity organizations will be strictly regulated by the Registrar General of the Corporate Affairs Commission, CAC, and Supervising Minister. Reacting to this development, Prophet Joshua Iginla, and of course, Bishop David Oyedepo, and another one, Apostle Johnson Suleiman, many of them have said a lot. And Prophet Joshua Iginla blames some church leaders for creating division in Christianity, thereby allowing the government to trample on churches without fear, adding that any trustee appointed to his own church will die before 7 days. Apostle Johnson Suleiman also said his own. He said anybody that has the gut to believe that they can do and undo before this particular period of time, they are going to die. And reactions trailed this. He said, one of the reasons the body of Christ in Nigeria is having problems is because we do not know our capacity. We have lost focus and spent time having doctrinal argument. We are the light of Nigeria. If we want to ensure that a Christian becomes the president of this country, we have the capacity. But we are so self-centered and divided that we are running to people that should be running to us. Everything doesn't end in prayer. There are things we don't need prayer for in Nigeria. We have the capacity to strengthen things, but the church has lost our taste. We are in days when we no longer attack the devil but ourselves. The reason people from other religions will continue to do better is because they understand their capacity. If a Christian leader, you are corrupt or found wanting, you should be dealt with. But I disagree that someone will propound a law into a spiritual entity. It is because the church is asleep. Last year, I prophesied that the church will face persecution because the church is asleep. Do you know that it took some of us to labor to grow a church up to this level, and someone will say he will appoint a trustee over the church? You don't even know how the church came about. If a pastor is corrupt, let him face the law and go to jail. But appointing a trustee, some of us are ready to die before you do that to us. It is absolutely wrong. So from all indications, you can see that many of them are ready to go in the direction of spirituality to make sure that any minister that is not standing well, or any registrar or whoever, or any goons here and there, that believes that he or she is ready to be among the board of trustees and determine this and that for a church, well, as you can see, they are saying that they are going to be dealt with. Now, when you go to some other countries, like some cases of like what happened in South Africa, They have a committee. They have a committee that looks into certain reports. If your church does not obey the rules and regulation as regards structure and some safety precaution, if there are probably someone dies in your church, all of those things, they have some committee that they come up with that they have already structured on ground that looks into religious issues. You could see cases in some part of Africa where some clerics started becoming satanic. They started jumping on their members, feeding them snakes, petrol, and all of that. There is a commission that they have there that sat down to discuss about these things. Although no one has been prosecuted because we are talking about spirituality here. The people that are sitting on the board, if they are just ordinary people, it will be difficult for you to attack someone that has spiritual abilities, because it is not everything that is physical in this world. There are spiritual abilities in this world, and the spiritual, they say, governs and controls the physical. Now, that's not to say that the government should not do the right thing. Government should be able to do the right thing, notwithstanding any form of threat. Now, that being said, someone here said the church has lost its state. That's why we are lost. We most like Kama law. Church have the capacity to bring Christian president Go and Actor Mbaka and G.O. Adeboye. Why they supported the Muslim over Goodluck Ebele Jonathan, who is a Christian. Now, I'll try to clear something here. When we talk about Christianity, it's not about just being a Christian as a religion. We are talking of a person who is upright, someone who is ready to do the right thing. That's it. Someone who's ready to do the right thing, not someone that has the identity or because you were born in a Christian family and that makes you that. No, we are talking of someone who steps in there, not a corrupt person. No, it's got nothing to do with that. Someone said, if somebody like me is appointed as trustee to your organization, I will regulate you to the nearest 1 naira and nothing will happen. In fact, any kobo you spend will be properly accounted for. And that's something, accountability. Now, the question is this: are we sure that this board of trustees are people of integrity, or this is just an avenue for them to also soak their hands into the corruption that are in many of these churches? So if they are going to check your books and make sure that your account is right and there is no money, is not misappropriated and money does not disappear here and there, wouldn't they also be getting some money? All of a sudden they have created a ministry. That's what it is, a ministry where money is being sucked from. Any church that does not want any probe or here and there, if they are not going to threaten spiritually or deal with things spiritually, the easy way out is for them to just give some people, minister or board of trustees, some amount of money, and they forget about the whole story and life moves on. So it's more or less like with this board of trustees and all of these things, there are going to be more news that you're going to hear. Saga. You are going to see a lot. Do not forget that coronavirus is already exposing certain churches and religious organizations. This time around, with this, politicians getting themselves appointees, board of trustees getting involved in churches, you are going to hear a lot. A lot is going to explode. A lot, things are going to change. You're going to see and hear a lot of very corrupt practices going on in many of these churches. Because why? It is now corrupt meets corrupt. And that's it. And what else? So that's what it is. What are your take about this? Let us talk about it.